and in Dunya and studyabroad.pk. Honorable guests and dear fellows, the purpose of today's seminar is to provide maximum information to students who are planning to study abroad. We shall start the program with recitation of the Holy Quran. For recitation, I'd like to call upon Mr. Hafiz Ahmed Ali. I'd like to introduce our guests. We have with us Ms. Helen Khan, who is Administrator, Alberta Roads Education Centre, and we have with us Mr. Ithar Ahmed Khan, who is CEO, CIN International, and Mr. Atif Karamul will be joining us shortly. Today's program is to guide students who are willing to study abroad. There are many amongst us who are focused, ambitious, and who are very eager to climb the ladder to success. And even if some of you are not planning to study abroad, I'm sure by the end of this session, all of you will be giving it a thought at least. Applying abroad is a long process. It involves many steps and stages. There are many questions that come to your mind, such as why should you study abroad, which universities should you apply to, and what courses would be most suitable to you, what are the tests that you need to take, how can you perform good at those tests, and there are many other such questions that will hopefully be answered in today's session. So now I'd like to invite on our first speaker, Ms. Helen Khan.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for introducing me. My name is Helen Khan. I'm from Canada, and I've been in Lahore now for a number of years. Been in Pakistan since 2008. Okay, so I want to tell you a little bit about myself first. I worked at the University of Alberta for over 25 years. I'm also a graduate of that university, and I'm still affiliated with that university, plus a number of other colleges and universities in Canada. So I'm well acquainted with the educational system in Canada. I won't name all the universities right now. You can contact me later about that. And I also want to say that this is a great time to talk about mass communications, because I'm very proud to say that Canada is on its way to the Academy Awards again. 3 graduates from Concordia University have just produced a film called Rebelle, which is about the Congo. It's done in the French language. And that's what Canada is noted about in mass communication. We're noted for our foreign films and our documentaries. So we've got kind of a name out there for being serious in a creative way. And I'm proud to be a Canadian for that, and many other things, of course. Canada is a great country to study in, a great many opportunities, and so I'd like to bring that knowledge to you. I would also like to thank Study Abroad and Elunki Dunia for inviting me to be a guest speaker here. It's a wonderful opportunity, and I would like to bring you that world of knowledge of mass communication about Canada to here in Pakistan. So first of all, there are many opportunities. Opportunities abound. If you go as an undergraduate student, almost every college and university in Canada has some form of mass communication studies. It might be as a degree, it might be as a diploma, it might be as a certificate. There's usually a co-op program involved. What do I mean by co-op? What a co-op means is that you have a work term, an internship. It's part of your academic career. You don't get your degree until you complete that unit of co-op experience. And that's a great way to get into the industry. It's a great way to get the experience, plus you get credit for it. So you have many opportunities as an undergraduate at almost all of the universities and colleges in Canada. At the postgraduate level, you again have the flexibility. You can do a regular MA. Some of them come with a co-op placement. Of course, there's a thesis involved. You can get double degrees. Some of them offer a degree in mass communication plus social justice or a professional designation. You can do postgraduate certificates or you can do your PhD. So again, there's a lot of opportunities in that area. And there's a lot of careers available afterwards. If you come back to Pakistan, great. I mean, Pakistan will need you. It still needs you. If you want to be an agent of change and make a difference in Pakistan, then there's great opportunities back home. But if you want to stay in Canada, there's also great career opportunities as well. You can get into the public advocacy organizations, GOs, government organizations, non-government organizations, non-profit organizations, communication policy analysis, media research, journalism, multimedia, professional positions and top managerial positions, communication and health information services. Communication is everywhere, right? It's not just doing a film. And that is great if we can do a documentary or a film or, get into that. But communication is such a wide open program. It's pretty much your thing, your niche, how do you want to communicate and in what area. Some of the better universities in Canada that I'm going to talk mainly at the postgraduate level, as I understand most of you here will have completed your degrees and then are looking for postgraduate studies afterwards. Of course, I mentioned Concordia University, where we have 3 graduates who are on their way to the Academy Awards. The University of Montreal also has some great programs. The problem with those universities, though, they're in Quebec. And you have to parler en français très bien, which means we might not quite make Quebec, right? We have to study. English is probably our medium, so we'll want to look at the rest of Canada rather than a French-speaking province. But if you are game for learning French, certainly Quebec is a place to study as well. York University offers communication and culture. Rhodes University in BC has environmental education and a professional communication. Simon Fraser has a double degree in communication and social justice. Simon Fraser is in BC. I'm going to go all over Canada, okay? Not just Ontario. There's more to Canada than Ontario. Canada's a big country. It's the second biggest country in the world, so we're going to explore the whole of it. The University of Calgary, again, you look at culture, communication and culture. And that is in Alberta. That's my home province. McMaster's in Ontario. You have multimedia, management, or new media. Carleton in Ontario has journalism. The University of Manitoba has journalism. Windsor has social justice and communication. Toronto has biomedical communication. So does York. So there's a lot of diversity. If you were to ask me which is the best university to go to, I would say it depends on what you want to do. Right? Where do you want to study? What do you want to study is more important. Because Each university has its specialty. So I can't say one university is better than another. Most of the universities in Canada are funded by the Canadian government, especially the major universities. Canada majorly funds its universities. Of all the G8 countries, it probably is the second highest after Japan in funding its universities. So we pour a lot of money into our universities. So any university is a good university, at least for the top first-tier universities, although there are also some good second-tier universities. Am I talking too fast? Okay, good, because, you know, as Canadians, we can talk very fast and you won't know what I said. But I try to slow down. Okay. So, I've just given you a brief overview. Again, I would like to emphasize the University of Calgary, which is, again, my home province, not my home city, but my home province. We have, social context of science and technology, media and film studies, socio-cultural approaches to communication, and critical health issues. Canada's big on health. We spend a lot of money on health as well. Social and global justice. Again, a lot of our films that we produce, the documentaries that make it to the Academy Awards, have to do with social justice, recognizing some wrong in the world, in society, and trying to rectify that or give a message about it through film and theater. So we explore all forms of communication and the relationship to culture and society, okay? And how does this knowledge and culture, how is it produced, how is it reflected in speech, in writing, in television, film, radio, digital media, interactive entertainment, the internet, and wireless networks. So even mass communication happens. You have to know something about it for SEO, right? For having a website. How do we get that message across? So it covers a wide spectrum. And strong critical media studies. So we have a critical analysis of what we're doing. Critical analysis is very important. It's a dogma that is highly emphasized at universities. Taking a critical look at what we're doing, how we can do it better, and are we really doing what we want to do. The University of Toronto is a great place to go to if you want to get into communications and medicine. How do we take that information about health issues and give it to the public? And that is a real issue about getting enough information across to the public about health. And so a very good field to go into. You have to be highly academic, though, to get into it. But Rhodes University has a MA and Master's in Professional Communication. If you're an MBA or you are already in a managerial position or planning on going into management, how do you communicate with your staff? How do you communicate with the internally and externally? That public image, that communicating and being able to build relationships, proper kind of relationships with your staff. So there's lots of ways of looking at communication. Environmental education. The environment is in big trouble these days, right? Here in Pakistan, it's in big trouble too. Just went to Murray, beautiful place, yes, except for the litter. But you know what? Some of it's done by you and I, people who know better. But a lot of it's done by people who don't know better. They've never been educated as to how or what they're doing to the environment by polluting it, by throwing out the litter, by throwing out your garbage and washing it down into the sewers and into the rivers. So there's a whole field of communication right there on one subject alone. So that's another thing that we emphasize in Canada is environmental education. International studies research, looking at communication at an international level. Journalism, of course, is big. how to be a good journalist, what does it take to be a journalist, the technology that journalists use today, global networking, or the global technology that's used to give a global news report, sustainability research, digital journalism. I mean, it goes on. Brand communication. Who would have thought about brand communication, right? Making your brand. So a lot of opportunities to study. I mean, you name it, and it's probably there. In fact, one of the universities, or a couple of them, will say, we are not limited to this kind of research. Like every university puts its research interests out there, what the professors are into. Some of them will say, but that's not the limitation. What do you want to do? So there's some openness in that area as well. And again, as I said, lots of opportunities for employment, whether you come back home or whether you stay abroad. You can have careers in film and TV. Maybe you'll be the next person on the way to the Academy Awards, right? And that's possible because some of the people on that list of graduates who were on the way were not born Canadians, okay? They were foreign names. One of them is a Vietnamese person, so we're not limited to that. Public relations, journalism, editing. Even if you come back here, half of what I read as an editor needs to be edited. We need good editors in this country. Actors, directors, screenwriters, fashion photography. I don't know where to stop, okay? Just going back to culture though. In Canada we have a policy of multiculturalism. It came into being around the 1960s thanks to one of our former prime ministers, Prime Minister Pierre Trudeau. He introduced the policy of multiculturalism, which means that Canada welcomes diversity. It welcomes culture. In fact, there's one school, one elementary school in Edmonton, that's my hometown, my home city, where the majority of the people living in that locality are Punjabi speakers, from 6, right? So we teach Punjabi at school to the kids, right? That they can take that as an optional language as opposed to French. They don't have to take French. They do have to take a second language. So we have all kinds of cultural diversity in Canada, and we welcome it, as opposed to our neighbor to the south who believes in assimilation. So that's why we put an emphasis on social justice and culture. It's a really big thing. We have a mindset for that. So what does it take to get into a university in Canada? Well, if you're doing a bachelor's degree, you would want to have a first class or first division grade. Right? You have to have first class or first division, however you want to. I think it's usually called first division here, right? You have to be an A+ student if you're doing your intermediate, or an A student. Or have a GPA of 3. Some of them will go a little bit lower. Some will look at 2.5 of a GPA. But generally, first division students can easily get into a Canadian university or college. If you're doing there's also 2 ways you can go. 2 ways Canada looks at your credentials here from Pakistan. Depending on the university, again, there's some flexibility. It's not consistent throughout. Some will simply say, oh, you need a bachelor's degree with a GPA of 3. Others will say, well, you need a bachelor's degree plus a master's degree, especially if the bachelor's degree is less than 4 years. So they will want to have both a master's degree and a bachelor's degree, depending on the university. So there's some flexibility there. So don't look at one university and get discouraged. There might be a university that's meant just for you. Okay? You should have a degree in humanities, social sciences, fine arts, applied programming, communication technology, communications, that sort of thing. That kind of a degree where you've majored in those categories or those disciplines will get you into a Canadian university. Other requirements will be a CV, plus written assignments. Some want to have 2 or 3 writings from you, an essay of 500 words or more. They want to see your writing ability. So you have to have good communication skills, which is understandable because we're going into communications. If you're going into IT, it might be a little different, but with communications, they want to make sure that you have good English skills, because English is the medium of instruction. Everything you get will be in English unless you're going to Quebec, and then it'll be in French. Well, there are some English-speaking universities, but you need French anyway. You will also have to have 2 referees, and you will need IELTS or TOEFL. TOEFL marks are anywhere from 570 to 600. Again, some flexibility in the universities, what they're asking for. And IELTS would be anywhere from 7 to 8. So again, they want to have good communication skills. Okay? You would also have, for an MA, you would also have to write a statement of interest. Some will ask you to find a supervisor before you arrive. Some will say, find your supervisor in your first year. And if you do a PhD, you need a proposal, a research proposal, okay, a plan, a study. So those are the basic credentials. Some universities might ask for something a little bit different, but on an overall scale, that's what you would give them. When do you start? Okay, what did I want to say? Yes, I want to talk briefly about the University of Toronto. If you're planning on going into health science or health communication, the University of Toronto, they do say that the GPA has to be a 3, but over the last 2 years, the average GPA for their master's students was 3.7. So I was saying, if you want to do that, you have to. But you know what? It's possible. One of my teachers at my school has a 3.8 GPA. So if you got it, go for it. Right? It's possible to do. When you start looking, it takes about a year's time to find the right institution, especially if you're going in at the master's or the PhD level. Okay? So now is the time to start looking. For example, the University of Calgary starts taking admissions from September 2013 for the September 2014 year. So you need to, and their deadline is January 15th. So you have to allow plenty of time to get your application in time, find your research or your supervisor if that's necessary, and usually it is, sometimes it's not. So I would say now is the time to start looking. Don't wait until 3 months before the start date, because you will have missed it. And then you still need your visa, which takes right now about 2.5 to 3 months to get a study permit for Canada. So you need to allow plenty of time. Tuitions range anywhere from $10,000 a year to $29,000 a year. So a lot of flexibility in cost depending on what you want to study, especially if you're going to do the professional route. That is usually more expensive. And then after graduation, what do? You can return home right away. You can become part of our postgraduate work permit program. Canada likes foreign students that have graduated from universities in Canada. And you can work for up to 3 years after graduating, depending on your program, of course. So you can always work, and then you can still come back home, or you can stay and get your permanent residency. So it's up to you. Lots of scholarships available, funding available. Some universities give guaranteed funding to the graduate students. Some will give you an RA, some will give a TA, research assistantship or teaching assistantship. And you can always work while you're going to school, on and off campus. So lots and lots of opportunities. Now, quickly, any questions before I run out of my time? Any questions? Yes.
You were just talking about the research proposal that we have to submit as part of our application.
For PhD, yes.
For PhD, okay. You don't need a research proposal for masters. That's what I want.
No, you do need, what did I call that? A statement of interest with a clear description of the applicant's intellectual interest for future study.
Okay. Not for masters.
Not just for the masters, but you don't. The research proposal is for a PhD. Generally speaking, okay. Generally speaking, because said some have different criteria, okay, for different requirements. Research proposals are possible, right? Any other questions? Remember that the question you ask might be the one that your colleague is afraid to ask, so feel free to ask. And there's no wrong questions, just wrong answers. So I'm the only one that can be wrong here today. Yes?
Are bachelor students directly eligible for MPhil or PhD in Canada? Because
sorry, I can speak a little louder. I'm older.
Our bachelor students, are they directly eligible for MPhil or PhD degrees? Because in America, some university they makes you directly eligible for it.
Yes, generally, in a lot of universities, if you have your bachelor's degree, you can go straight into an MA, a Master's of Arts or a Master's in Communication. There's
she's talking about MPhil, Master of Philosophy.
Master of Philosophy.
Yeah.
See, we don't call it Master of Philosophy. That's a terminology that we don't use.
And what about PhD?
PhD, I mean, then you have a Doctor of Philosophy and whatever degree. We would call it either a Master's of Communication, a Master's of Arts, Masters of something, but you don't use the word philosophy unless you're doing it in philosophy. If you're doing your Master's in a discipline of philosophy, then we would say, yes, you have a Master's in philosophy. But that's the only time we would use it until you get to the doctorate level.
Okay, and are they eligible after bachelor's study?
Yes. Yeah, you're eligible for a master's degree as long as you have the requirements, like a GPA of 3 or higher. Okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
Thank you, ma'am, for sharing with us valuable information about courses and programs across Canadian universities. Canada surely sounds a great place to pursue higher education, and surely many of us will be planning our degrees there. Now I'd like to call upon our next guest speaker, Mr. Ishar Ahmed Khan, to share with us further information about studying abroad.
I understand. That your instructor brought you here forcefully, I think so. ऐसा है या नहीं?
Not this way.
Actually, do you feel I'm a serious person?
No.
No. I'm like you, okay? Be relaxed. Study abroad. मुझे स्टेज से कहा गया कि please speak in Urdu, आप पंजाबी, right? ताकि interactive हो सके, because environment is so serious, right? What do you feel? We should speak in English, Urdu or Punjabi? Pashto, please.
I can understand that.
Right, you can understand. What, Pashto?
Yes. A bit of.
Okay. Study abroad. What do you feel like? Why you go for study abroad? क्यों जाना चाहिए? इसके लिए सबसे पहला काम क्या हो सकता है? Make a passport. Okay. Pardon? Apply university. Next. Apply for visa directly. Okay, good. Next. Next. Anybody?
Choose the right money from your father.
अच्छा, सबसे पहले आई थिंक इसके लिए सबसे पहले वी शुड थिंक, हमें सोचना चाहिए। क्या कह रहे हैं? ये सोचे बगैर हमें चले जाना चाहिए। एक छोटा सा लतीफा है, I just want to share with you people, right? I'm also graduated from here, right? Then I went to UK for the further studies, and I'm into this field since last 12 years. Okay, there's a long introduction, but I'm not interested to share with such type of lethargic things right now. मैं आपको लतीफा शेयर करना चाहता हूँ, थोड़ा सा आप इजी हो जाएंगे। सबसे पहले मैंने जैसे कहा कि बाहर जाने के लिए, स्टडी अब्रॉड के लिए, you have to think, सबसे पहले सोचना पड़ेगा, ठीक है? सोचने के लिए जो मैं लतीफा सुनाने लगा हूँ, ये हाफ लतीफा आपने पहले सुना हुआ है और दूसरा एडिटिव है, राइट, एक्सटेंशन। एक अखबार में ऐड दिया एक साहब ने, और उसमें था कि 50,000 रुपए तनख्वाह और सोचने का काम। लॉन्ग क्यू, इतनी ज्यादा एप्लीकेशन आ गई, रश पड़ गया उन्होंने सिफारिशें भी आनी शुरू, एक बंदे को सिलेक्ट कर लिया। He was so happy, oh, selected। उसने कहा सर, जब अंदर गया बैठे बात की, उन्होंने कहा सर काम क्या करना था? मैंने देखो, सुबह तुमने दादा साहब जाना, अपने लिए खाना लेके आना, ठीक है, मेरे लिए लेके आना और खुद खा के आना। सर आपके पास खाना खाने के भी पैसे नहीं हैं, तो आप मुझे 50,000 रुपये तनख्वाह कैसे देंगे? वो कहते बेवकूफ आदमी, तुमने पढ़ा नहीं, उसमें लिखा वो 50,000 रुपये तनख्वाह, सोचने का काम। ये सोचना तुम्हारा काम है कि तनख्वाह कहां से मिलेगी, ठीक है? इसलिए आपने भी अपना सोचने का काम हम पे डाल दिया, ठीक है? स्टडी अब्रॉड के लिए सबसे पहले यू हैव टू प्लान, यू हैव टू थिंक इट ओवर। आपको सोचना है कि आर यू प्रिपेयर्ड टू गो अब्रॉड, राइट? जैसे स्टूडेंट यहाँ पर कहा वीजा लगवाना। अच्छा, पंजाब यूनिवर्सिटी के स्टूडेंट्स लाइक काफी देर बाद मैं यहाँ पे आया हूँ और एनवायरनमेंट इज चेंज, वेरी ओपन। वन स्टूडेंट इज वेयरिंग शर्ट लाइक दैट्स आर्मी, अब्बा जी की फौज। अच्छा, दिस इज समथिंग वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग, राइट? स्टडी अब्रॉड इज नॉट वेरी सीरियस थिंग, आई थिंक सो। इसके लिए आपको बहुत ज्यादा परेशान होने की जरूरत है कि यहाँ से पढ़ के निकले, इतना ज्यादा फोर्सफुली लाइक टीचर इंस्ट्रक्टर यहाँ पे लेके आए स्टडी, और फिर आगे स्टडी का वर्ड है, फिर आगे स्टडी करना पड़ेगा, राइट? जब दरिया के पार उतरा तो मैंने देखा मुझे कि और दरिया का सामना था, ऐसी बात नहीं है, ठीक है? स्टडी अब्रॉड, राइट? आप फील कि स्टडी अब्रॉड के लिए कौन कौन से पॉइंट्स होने चाहिए कि आप क्यों बाहर जाना चाहते हैं। लेकिन इससे भी पहले, राइट, आप लोगों में से हाथ खड़ा कीजिए, कौन कौन स्टडी अब्रॉड के लिए जाना चाहते हैं, बाहर स्टडी के कौन जाना चाहते हैं? What about the rest of the people like? You're not interested? Happy here? Why are you sitting here then? Okay. अच्छा, आपको पता है what's the difference कि आपको इंटरनेशनल स्टडीज में और लोकल स्टडीज में डिफरेंस क्या है? आपको आप बताइए, एनीबॉडी बताएं डिफरेंस क्या होता है? हाँ, आप बता सकते हैं एनीबॉडी कि इंटरनेशनल स्टैंडर्ड्स में और लोकल स्टडी करने में डिफरेंस क्या है? जिन्होंने कहा वी इंटेंड टू गो अब्रॉड फॉर स्टडीज, राइट, तो वो बताएं कि बाहर पढ़ने और यहाँ पढ़ने में कोई डिफरेंस आपको पता फील होता है? क्यों आप बाहर क्यों जाना चाहते हैं? फिर एक हाथ खड़ा करें।
We want to do something different.
Something different. Different कैसे for something different?
This will have more valuability.
More valuable. It's not valuable.
More valuable.
More valuable.
नहीं सर, स्टैंडर्ड का डिफरेंस है ना, मतलब जो क्वालिटी ऑफ एजुकेशन है बाहर बहुत बेहतर है।
This is one point, quality of education, right? This is one point कि वहाँ पे different है, right? Number 2, और कुछ बताइए।
Exposure towards life बढ़ता है, आप बाहर जाते हो, यहाँ पे कुछ और है, वहाँ पे कुछ और है। Exposure towards life बढ़ाने के लिए आपको बाहर जाना चाहिए।
पढ़ाने के लिए।
पढ़ाने के लिए। Exposure towards
पढ़ाने के लिए।
गेन करने के लिए।
Okay. Increase exposure, okay? आपके exposure, number 1, आपके डिग्री की वैल्यू ज्यादा होती है, number 2 exposure, right? Further आप बताइए, anybody? Why should go for study abroad?
Better resources of education.
Better
Resources.
resources for resources. Which type of resources? Resources आपको यहाँ चाहिए या वहाँ पे होंगे? वहाँ पे होंगे. Just to explore further resources. Okay. Next, anybody?
To gain experience.
Pardon? Gain experience. Experience for what?
Experience for a better standard of living there. And a better
Yes, this is something very important, right? This is living abroad, countries, civilized country like UK, Australia, and Canada, and US too, right? To just live there, that's an education too, right? You can learn a lot, the systems, the education system, the living system, the civic sense, right? You can learn. Okay, और बताइए, एक और मैं बताऊँ आपको, सबसे जो इंटरेस्टिंग चीज होती है वो आपका एक ग्लोबल एनवायरनमेंट है, ग्लोबल एनवायरनमेंट, राइट? One university, any one of the leading countries, right? UK, Australia, and Canada. उनमें से किसी भी एक universities में students around the world they used to come over. Probably more than 100 country students. Oh wow, right? अब कितना ज़्यादा different आपको feel हो सकता है कि 100 से ज़्यादा countries के students अगर आपकी university में हो, तो उसमें कितनी diversity आ सकती है, right? आप उसमें किस तरह exposure ले सकते हैं, किस तरह learn कर सकते हैं. जब तक आप अपने basic concept को students clear नहीं करोगे, right? कि आपके लिए study abroad क्यों है? Just wanna go. What? Don't know. कुछ करना है, ठीक है? तो सबसे पहले आपको अपने concept को clear करना है, okay? अगर आप जाना चाहते हैं, अगर कोई जाना ही नहीं चाहता, तो उसको क्या कहते हैं? अच्छा मुझे बताइए, आपको क्या fear क्या है? अच्छा मैं बताऊं, बहुत से लोग everybody is willing subconsciously, right? लेकिन उनको कुछ concepts clear नहीं, कुछ confident, they're not confident enough कि हम कैसे बाहर जा सकते हैं, right? उसके लिए resources चाहिए, okay? उसके लिए further बहुत high grades चाहिए, we are not rich enough, right? हमको उसका पता नहीं है कैसे जाना है, कुछ ऐसे questions हैं आपके ज़हन में?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yes. उन्हीं चीजों को क्लियर करने के लिए हम यहाँ पे आए हैं, right? आप अपने बेसिक जो ग्राम्स हैं, right? उनको आप क्लियर कीजिए. Just be frank, okay? एक मैं बात बताऊं. If you are willing to go abroad for the studies, finances doesn't matter. If you're willing, okay? Put that issue aside. अब इसको साइड पे रखो. अब इस fear को साइड पे रखते हुए अगर आप समझते हैं कि if your father has ample money, तभी आप बाहर जा सकते हैं, उसके बगैर नहीं जा सकते, तो ऐसा नहीं है. Be rest assured. Be rest assured. Okay? अब आप मुझे बताइए, अब आप बाहर जाना चाहते हैं कि रिसोर्सेज का प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व हो जाए? हाथ खड़े करिए, हाथ खड़े करिए, हाथ खड़े करिए, हाथ खड़े करिए. अच्छा आप जर्नलिस्ट बनना चाहते हैं? आपको जर्नलिस्ट बनना चाहते हैं? आपने एडमिशन क्यों लिया? जस्ट टू एक्वायर अ डिग्री? डिग्री लेने के लिए. ओके, दैट्स नाइस. अच्छा मुझे आप बता सकते हो कि मैथ कम्युनिकेशन के 3 मेजर पार्ट्स क्या हो सकते हैं? इसमें फर्दर क्या क्या सेग्रीगेशंस हैं? एक हाथ खड़े करें, हाथ खड़े करें, हाथ खड़े करें. Mass communication, print media, electronic media, public relation. Okay, anybody else? आप हाथ खड़े करें. आप बोले 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 जी बताओ. एडवर्टाइजिंग जर्नलिस्ट. ओके, और बताइए. फोटो जर्नलिस्ट. मैस कम्युनिकेशन का सेगमेंट्स मुझे आप बता सकते हैं? 3 कौन से सेगमेंट हो सकते हैं? ग्लैंस. हाथ से बताइए. आप कौन से ईयर 1 ईयर 2 फर्स्ट ईयर? ओके, आपको किसने कहा कि आप एडमिशन में आप एडमिशन लें? मिल गया कैसे? अपनी बाई चॉइस कितने लोग आए हैं? बाई चॉइस, बाई चॉइस, you want to become journalist? क्या करेंगे जर्नलिस्ट बन के? दुनिया बन गई। जब भी
I didn't get your question. Segregation with sense, मतलब what?
Mass communication, there is a topic, right? This is degree name, okay? Further, इसमें कौन सी चीजें हैं? तीन, right? कौन से आप समझते सब्जेक्ट्स हैं? या मेन सेग्रीगेटेड अगर आप इसको करें, तो तीन पार्ट्स में किस तरह सेग्रीगेट करेंगे? बताइए।
सर एक्चुअली हमारे जो यूनिवर्सिटी के अंदर ना BS ऑनर्स लेवल पे 4 सेग्रीगेशंस हैं। Number 1,
I'm talking about the mass form. This is a topic, right?
Yeah.
We just place here 3 points, right? If you can segregate mass form in 3 parts, how about that? और बताओ। Oh, very interesting. Okay, इस पर लास्ट में बात करेंगे। अच्छा, अगर हम अच्छा मुझे बताइए रिसोर्सेज के बारे में उसको दोबारा भी इसमें बाद में बात कर लेते हैं। मुझे थोड़ा सा आपका वो लेवल को देखना था कि बेसिकली आप किस लेवल पे हैं, क्योंकि जब तक लेवल क्लियर नहीं होगा हाउ कैन आई इंटरेक्ट विद पीपल, राइट? अच्छा मुझे बताइए, आई एम नॉट हियर टू ब्लाइंडली स्पीक कि आप जो नहीं चाहते वो मैं आपसे बात करूं। जस्ट शायद मैं 5-10 मिनट्स में क्लोज कर दूं, ठीक है? लेकिन मुझे आपको कुछ देख के जाना है। अगर आप लेना चाहेंगे तो, अदरवाइज नो। ओके? सीरियसली आपने कभी सोचा कि आपने बाहर जाना है? आप किन कंट्रीज के बारे में आपने सोचा? बताइए। USA, Australia, Canada, India. India is very advanced, by the way, frankly speaking. Yes, आप बताइए।
USA.
Please one to one, please one. बताइए।
USA.
पेशावर जाना चाहते? अच्छा मैं आपको बताऊँ, I was really amazed. Frankly speaking, I travel around the world probably, लेकिन मैं 2 जगह पे जाके बहुत हैरान हुआ, ठीक है? एक चाइना, एक पेशावर। इसका बात अच्छा मुझे बताएं, I was just asking the countries, where you want to go? USA, okay?
UK,
Australia,
Germany,
Switzerland, France, Turkey. One by one. Bangladesh, okay. Brazil, yes. Where you want to go for studies? Okay, I'm just going to watch. Yes, which country is that? Afghanistan, okay. This is something very interesting. Actually, we take everything in a very serious manner, right? That was the reason I'm not serious here, right? Because you're not serious. You're not serious to go abroad for the study, that was the reason. अच्छा, मैं जनरल एक बैकग्राउंड देने के बाद we just close. अगर आप किसी एक स्टूडेंट भी जाना चाहता है स्टडी अब्रॉड के लिए, just be rest assured, first of all you have to think it over, अपने माइंड को क्लियर करें कि okay, I can go. आपको बताओ अभी चंद दिन पहले आपके स्टूडेंट क्या नाम है उनका? बताइए। मदिया इनाम आप ही की डिपार्टमेंट की, मैं आपको सीरियस पॉइंटिंग करने लगा। मदिया इनाम आप ही की डिपार्टमेंट की स्टूडेंट, एक होता है जब आपके अंदर से आपको एग्जाम्पल मिलता है या आप में से किसी स्टूडेंट को वो अवार्ड मिलता है जिसके बारे में आप उनकी फन क्रिएट कर रहे हैं और सोच रहे हैं, जब उसको वो अचीव हो जाता है तब ओके। मदिया इनाम वाज अ स्टूडेंट ऑफ योर डिपार्टमेंट, राइट? शी वाज माय स्टूडेंट। उन्होंने अप्लाई किया, when she came to my office, उनके हस्बैंड भी आए, उन्होंने कहा कि sir, we intend to go abroad for the studies, but we haven't any resources. can we go? I said, yes, of course. You must have a will. आपने will होना चाहिए कि आप जाना चाहते हो. अभी जो मैं आपको एक एग्जाम्पल देने जा रहा हूँ, she done that. वो मेरे पास आई, but she was serious. Okay? और मैंने कहा, just bring your credentials. I gone through her credentials. मैंने कहा, okay, probably we can proceed. हमने उनको proceed किया, right? Scandinavian countries के लिए जर्मन से उनको full bright scholarship, absolutely free, उनको award हो गया. That was Youth League. Okay, you can contact with her. She's in Pakistan. She got approval from there, right? Full bright scholarship from Germany. Okay, having a visa of Schengen of 27 countries. Okay, उनका हो गया. Further up. मजे की बात है, she's married and her husband and family is also accompanying with her. उनकी पूरी family जा रही है, right? She is not intent to pay anything to the universities. Absolutely free of charge. Absolutely free. Right? There are 100,000 students like this. सबसे पहले आपको you must be serious. आपको serious होना है. You have to start thinking. आपको सोचना है that you can go, okay? Then you have to plan, then you have to proceed. Then there will be no reason that you can't go. World is full of opportunities, literally. You must believe within you. Within you, right? आपको सबसे पहले अपने अंदर believe लाना है. अगर आपको अपने ऊपर believe नहीं होगा, this is a magical word, frankly speaking. If you can't believe yourself, right, nobody will believe you. If you can't believe yourself, this is my message of the year. If you can't believe yourself, nobody will believe you. सबसे पहले आप अपने आप पे believe रखें, आप यकीन रखें कि आप कर सकते हैं. अगर आप खुद बिलीव नहीं करेंगे तो नहीं हो सकता. Resources doesn't matter. There is a world, there's a big world, there's a universe full of resources. क्या आप चाहते हैं और उसमें से आपको थोड़े से resources आपके शेयर के लिए मिल सकते हैं? You must be curious to find your own share. If you can't curious, अगर आप चाहते ही नहीं हैं तो कैसे हो सकता है? I'm an example. I'm graduated from here, from this university, right? मुझे बिल्कुल सोच थी कि मैं जो चाहता हूं मैं कर सकता हूं. Frankly speaking, अगर कभी next time मौका मिला, I can share my own success, my own experiences with you people if you've been interested, right? Then मैं आपको बताऊं, literally, this 100% possible. Example sitting in front of you. 100% possible. Without any resources. I started my own company when I was a student. उसी वक्त मैंने सोच लिया था मुझे क्या करना है. I was very clear in my thought, right? मैं अपने resources की generation से I went abroad for the studies. I started my own company. Now I have own offices in 3 of the countries. I travel around the world. I have been advisor to the government. I'm the only person in Pakistan advisor on foreign education in Pakistan, right? And there are a lot of I represent Pakistan on international forums as well, right? अगर आप चाहते हैं, सबसे पहले मुझे आपको बहुत nitty-gritty information के लिए यहाँ पे नहीं मैं आया. वो हम next session भी रख सकते हैं, आप नेट से भी ले सकते हैं, आप हमारे offices भी ले सकते हैं. लेकिन first of all you have to clear your concept, your vision. Be serious, right? Start thinking. Believe yourself. If you can't believe, you can't proceed. Frankly speaking. Okay? मैं आपकी एग्जांपल दी, आप ही की स्टूडेंट, आप ही की कलीग, राइट? उनका 100% स्कॉलरशिप, फुल ब्राइट स्कॉलरशिप हुआ, राइट? और उसके बाद उनकी full family, they're going to Germany after completion of their studies. Definitely, she'll have a post-study work permit. Then उसके बाद उसको PR में conversion हो सकता है, right? She can, वो पूरे dream जो होता है, उसका पूरा हो गया. ऐसे हमारे पास hundreds and hundreds of students are there, right? And students, if you are serious, frankly speaking, ये सिर्फ इस चीज को आप कर लें, पाकिस्तान में genuinely talent की कोई कमी नहीं है. सिर्फ seriousness की, focus होने की, and believe. believe on you. आप अपने पे believe रखें. Information, just information. How can you proceed? That's not an issue, right? इल्म की दुनिया, this is site. आप इस पे जा सकते हैं, contact कर सकते हैं, right? They are contributing a lot, right? ऐसी साइट जो है वो बहुत ज़्यादा informative, लेकिन frankly speaking हमारे students बहुत ज़्यादा serious नहीं लेते, ठीक है? Information is not an issue. Again, आप अपने belief रखें. अगर आप जाना चाहते हैं, right? If you want to explore the world, if you want to conquer the world, definitely that's not an issue. बिल्कुल वो problem नहीं है. Thank you very much. So kind. I'm so glad to be here with you people, right? मुझे सिर्फ आपके concept को clear करना था. Information is not an issue. You can find an email. You can send a lot of emails to us, right? We can give you directly answer, free evaluation, free information, right? That's not an issue. Thank you very much. So kind. And if you want to ask anything, please.
सर आपने belief की बात की है, लेकिन अगर resources ही ना हो तो फिर belief.
My God. Indeed, I spoke on the whole thing. मैंने example दिए. आप ही के student resources are not an issue. Right? There are ample 100,000 scholarships available around the world. 100,000. You just have to think it over. मैंने आपको बताया कि जो colleague थी उनका 100% Fulbright scholarship पे हुआ, right? Yes, definitely. Okay. Thank you very much. बहुत शुक्रिया. So kind. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Our head of department, Dr. Noshina Salim, is here with us now. Kindly, ma'am, come up and share a few words with us.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. As far as the title is concerned, Ilm Ki Duniya, I know one of my students, he was died in a bomb blast, and Abdul Rahman, Hafiz Abdul Rahman. I met that gentleman, and he was the first person who exposed this Ilm Ki Duniya to me. First of all, I want to welcome Miss Helen and Mr. Azhar and Mr. Akif, who organized this function over here. And this is a great opportunity for my students body. They have a lot of questions how they get education in abroad. Like, I'm so sorry, your name? Mr. Azhar. To some extent, he tries his level best to answer your questions, but I think there's still inquiries are there. Many questions are there. No need, but it's mass communication. How many segmentizations are there? This is not our concern. We know what are the areas we are looking for. There is advertising, there is public relation, there is political communication. There are several domains that fall under the umbrella of mass communication. The important thing, how to get and how to assess foreign universities, foreign organizations. Everybody knows this is the global age, and we know which countries they offer education, whose country they offer free education. We know Germany, that is the only country which offers free education as compared to other countries in the world. And then there is a classification of the information and the education. We know Scandinavian countries, we know the first world countries like America and Canada, what kind of the education they are participating to the students. But the question is here, how the students of Pakistan get access to those universities. Either they have to clear the GRE, the GAT, international GRE, okay, they qualify fast. And how they assess, how they go there, that's the issue. Either the family supports them, either financial assistance. Is this company, is that a lot of websites are there, they get information from them. But the issue is this, the education, foreign education is not a cheaper education, it's not easy education. It's not, you can, within a day or two, you can do that. A lot of finance is required. Aims, everybody knows the objectives and the beliefs and the aims, but the access is the issue. I know many of my students, they got selected for the summer school in Germany. Many students studying here, but they are very brilliant. They have 3.87 GPA, but they can't afford even the ticket in the travel grant. So our university, our department, they are supporting them. But not for the same issue. Some good students who are getting married, we provide them the need scholarship, merit scholarship. But the issue is there, the foreign education as compared to the Pakistani education, there is a hell of difference in financial matters are concerned. So that's the thing. I am so sorry I was a little bit late because I am busy in other things. I'm sure Ms. Helen and Mr. Ishaq, they clear about how to assess. Assess is not issue. Assess information about the universities and foreign education is not an issue. Assess how to meet the financial criteria. This is the issue, and I think so with this with Dunia and their website, and you can ask frequently the question to them, and they will be help you how to solve this issue. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for this. I think the rest of the day, please.
Thank you for coming here and sharing valuable information with students. And I hope the information was useful to you and will help you in studying and applying to university abroad. Thank you.